and we were talking about magazines and how we can utilize, as a business owner, how you can utilize magazines to make a profit. Or perhaps you just want to have a magazine and that's going to be your business. You know, she gives some great tips on how to add value within the magazine, how to partner with people, and to really think about adding a magazine to your Audio Jungle. Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan, speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. I just want to remind you that you can pick up Empower Your Money book. It is on Amazon, and I'm currently running the Kindle version for $1.99. Why, you ask? We want to reach more people. We want to impact more people. So head over to Amazon, look for Empower Your Money, and definitely leave a 5-star review. Check out the Kindle version for $1.99. This is part 3 of Financial Brilliance, where I am deep diving into past episodes and guests that I have interviewed on Empower Her Money. And I want to give you some action items and tips and just a brief overview of the last 80 or so episodes here on this is part 3 of the series. So let's dive in. Elona Lopari, she is the CEO of The School Life. And her recommendation and tip for the audience was entrepreneurship is just like school, that you always need to be learning as an entrepreneur and business owner. You never stop educating yourself. Katie K, an incredible woman, I met at an event. She is based out of Canada and she does acquisitions. And one of the tips that she provided to the audience was what you look for when you are looking to acquire a business is that you're looking at the team. Obviously, if you're going to buy out a company, whoever the owner is needs to be a very small piece of that team, someone who has either been replaced or is replaceable, working on that replacement. But you got to look at the team for that company because you're purchasing not only the company and clients, but also the team that's involved. Stephanie with Entreprenista, she recently had an incredible event here in Orlando. And one of the things that she recommended for business owners is to make sure you're always getting advice. And, you know, for them, they asked advice very early on in their business. They implemented that advice and they continue to ask for advice from people who are doing bigger and better things because those are the mentors that we have in our life. Mary Kate Murphy, she's based out of South Florida, but she has a matchmaking service. And so one of the things that she likes to ask people who come to her looking for, you know, their future husband, wife, is how serious are you? You have to treat the dating game just like your business. If you're super serious, you want to find that love of your life or, you know, your husband or wife, then you need to be serious about it. You need to dedicate time and energy into the matchmaking process. Tamara Davis with Rentals in Paradise. She's also a dining diva. She recommends that you be the type of person who wants to see others win. So when you give back and you really truly help people to win in their life, then that comes back to you. It's not the reason why we do it, obviously, but one of her focuses is to help inspire and see people win. Traci DeForge with Produce Your Podcast. She is one of the top people in the world that help people either launch your podcast or take your podcast to the next level. You want to monetize it, get on other podcasts. She has an incredible program to help you with that. It's called Produce Your Podcast. And she says that if you are a podcast host or if you're a guest, to put yourself in the position of the audience, put yourself in the mindset of that audience. What do they want to hear? What do they want to learn? What are they struggling with right now? And that will help you deliver to that audience and have phenomenal results. Amber Renae, we were talking about online courses. I don't currently have an online course, but that's something that she helps business owners with. And she was talking about how people, when they go to buy an online course, they're not necessarily buying it just for the content, but really because they connected with the person who is teaching the course. And so when they have that connection with that person on a topic that they want more information, then they're highly motivated and likely to purchase the course. So keeping that in mind. Vrinda Gupta, she launched the Sequin Card, which is pink. Well, I think it's kind of coral, but it's meant for women. And we really dove into the topic of the pink tax. You know, for example, a man's deodorant versus a woman's deodorant, and the difference in price for the woman's deodorant, we call that the pink tax. It's the same product for a man, same product for a woman, but it just costs more. Toothpaste, hair products, things that are geared towards women is more the pink tax. So she is combating that with the Sequin Card, where she gives you rebates or, cash back on the items that you're purchasing through the Sequin Card. So check out her website. Bridget Brick with Get Brick Capital. What I learned from her is that you can purchase single family homes in your investment portfolio, and they look at the actual property. So say, for example, you went through a divorce, or maybe you had some health issues, lost a job, fell behind on some payments, and so your personal credit isn't amazing. Well, they actually look at the property itself, the cash flow, the income, the expenses for it, and they do loans based on the actual property. So a little bit different, and really can help people out. And so you can visit her at Get Brick Capital to get more information. Virginia with VV Global Platform, we really dove into colors. She's got the store here in Miami, and it's a beautiful furniture store, but she was talking about, if you're starting to have low energy or some negative energy, one of the things that you can easily do to combat that is to redesign your space and add different colors to it, which brings a different energy to the room. So whether that's your office or your home, change out your furniture, maybe put in some new colors to help bring a different energy to your everyday life. Jill Burke with Magcast. I had an opportunity to interview her, and we were talking about magazines and how we can utilize, as a business owner, how you can utilize magazines to make a profit. Or perhaps you just want to have a magazine and that's going to be your business. She gives some great tips on how to add value within the magazine, how to partner with people, and to really think about adding a magazine to your business so that you can add more value, or possibly, create another income stream for you. And it doesn't take a ton of work for you to put it in, because they help you with everything with the format and distribution. Majority Hope with American Connected. We were talking about how, when you're dealing internationally, you have a business and you're dealing internationally, you might have clients that are outside the US. One of the things that is a universal sign for us to be connected to each other is a smile. Now, real genuine, I'm happy to be here, nice to meet you type of smile. And I was talking to a friend recently, and they were telling me how when they go visit other countries, the difference in cultures and customs when it comes to the smile, but it's still a universal sign of saying, hey, I'm here to help, or I would like to do business with you, and to give that extra smile. Joyce Price with Roaming Investors, a very interesting story. Her and her husband pretty much live in their vehicle, in their RV, and they travel around and do tax deed auctions, which a lot of people might not know about. And it can be a pretty lengthy process, but one of the things that she taught on the podcast is the biggest mistakes she sees people do, which is not doing enough due diligence in the beginning period, like a title search or driving by that property, but making offers or bidding on tax deeds that they haven't done enough research for, so you can understand and make a profit from that tax deed as an investment vehicle. Kate Dumas with Entrepreneurs on Fire. She is married to JLD, and she helps run the business with him. And we were talking about how important it is as a business owner to know your numbers. If you listen to the Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast, you know that every month they do an income update report, which is so unique. There is no other podcast that I know of that is telling you how much profit that actual podcast is making. Now, obviously, by them disclosing that to you, perhaps what kind of audience is in that podcast or listening to it. So if you're thinking about advertising, it's good information to know. But she says that as an entrepreneur, you must know your numbers. Hello, I say the same thing all the time. Entrepreneurs, you need to have a system in place so that you understand what you're making at the end of the day, what your expenses are, where your income is coming from. But I love that Entrepreneurs on Fire is very transparent in sharing that so that you can understand what kind of income streams they have and where their income as a podcast owner is coming from. Vicki Townsend, she is a divorce attorney and gave some astonishing numbers. For example, in the US, we spend as taxpayers $4.1 billion through social services. So that can be anything from welfare and WIC and all the other, items that could be available to a divorced woman, especially with children. $1 billion is spent to help women post-divorce, because statistically showing they have a lot less income, or maybe they weren't working at all and now they're having to get a job. So the household income gets cut. And then those women have to rely on some of these government social services to help them survive with their children. So that was an astonishing number that I learned. Melinda Woodstock, also one of my favorites. She is the CEO and founder of Podopolo. I know it's a very interesting word. We dove into why they chose that name. It's very interesting when you think about new names, right? Like Google didn't exist or Spotify didn't exist. These are all made up words at some point that mean something to us now. And we always talk, when we talked about fundraising. So if you are an entrepreneur that counts on outside income for your company, then you always need to be in fundraising mode. Even if you're not currently in need of funds, keep the relationships and be in fundraising mode, because if you do come across someone who's going to invest, find an avenue that will help the business grow and help it be a win-win. Shauna, she's the tax goddess. She's one of the top tax strategists in the entire country. That's pretty phenomenal. She was giving us the top 3 tax advice tips for business owners. I'm going to give you 2, and for you to get the third one, you've got to check out the episode. But 1, she was talking about having kids and hiring kids and paying kids through your company. 2, she went over and reminded us about the Augusta rule, which is a great tax advantage that you could take advantage of as a business owner. And the third tip, well, you're going to have to check out the podcast to get that third one. Shauna, tax goddess, and she helps her clients to save money from taxes and strategies with the business owner. Lizette Rivera, roasted whisk. And one of the things that we talked about is helping business owners create a unique experience for their clients to say thank you. You know, we could send thank you cards, we can send thank you gift cards, but how do you create a box that is unique to you and your business so that you can say thank you to your clients so that they become your raving fans? And that's something that she helps cultivate for her clients, Lizette Rivera and Roasted Whisk. So thank you again so much for listening to part 3 of Financial Brilliance when it comes to your money, your business, your finances. Want to teach you action items and help change and shift your mindset so that you can be the most successful version of yourself. Don't forget to share this episode, subscribe on YouTube, drop us 5 stars on Spotify so that we can reach more people, we can teach more people, we can impact more people. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast. I am grateful for you. Please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like this podcast, share it, subscribe, and let's keep teaching others how to take control and be empowered with their finances.